Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're focusing on a topic that might not be, front and center for everyone, but it's really crucial for those who go through it. Post-hysterectomy, vaginal cuff dehiscence, we'll call it VCD. Think of this as your quick guide to understanding what it is and maybe more importantly, how it affects vaginal health.
Exactly. Our goal is clear, actionable info on VCD, looking at ways to support healing, and maybe even introducing a potential solution.
Right, so VCD, you said vaginal cuff dehiscence.
Right.
Basically, the incision from the hysterectomy reopens.
That's the gist of it, yeah. It can be partial or complete, and while thankfully it's quite rare when it does happen, it's a serious complication. It definitely impacts physical comfort, emotional well-being too.
Okay. And we've looked at sources specifically on VCD and vaginal health, plus some practical advice.
We've got info focusing right on that link, VCD's impact and what can be done.
Great. So let's dive in. How does VCD actually, mess with vaginal health? What do the sources say?
Well, one of the first big things is just delayed healing. Pretty straightforward, really. When that cuff reopens, the body's natural healing timeline gets disrupted.
Right. So things just take longer to get back to normal.
Exactly. And it's not just longer. Those exposed tissues are more vulnerable. Think infection, scarring. It pauses the recovery.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And you mentioned infection risk. That seems like a really obvious danger when there's an open wound there.
It's a major concern. That opening is basically an invitation for bacteria. It can lead to things like BV, bacterial vaginosis, UTIs, or even more serious pelvic infections. Not something to take lightly.
No, definitely not. And it's not just those immediate acute infections, is it? I saw something about chronic inflammation, too.
That's a really important point. VCD can trigger this ongoing inflammation in the vaginal tissues. It's like the body stays in defense mode.
And long-term inflammation, that can't be good.
No, it weakens the tissues over time, can cause persistent sensitivity, and it also disrupts that delicate balance of the vaginal microbiome we need to talk about.
Okay, we'll come back to the microbiome. But first, the more immediate impact, discomfort and pain. I mean, it sounds painful just thinking about it.
Absolutely. The sources really emphasize this. The pain, especially, during normal activities or intimacy, can seriously impact quality of life. It's not just a minor thing. It affects daily living, how you feel.
Yeah, I can imagine. So let's circle back to that microbiome disruption. You touched on it.
Yeah.
Why is keeping that balance so critical, especially after something like VCD?
Okay, so think of the vaginal microbiome as this, ecosystem. Lots of good bacteria, keeping things in check, maintaining the right pH, fighting off bad bugs.
Like a little internal garden?
Kind of, yeah. And surgery itself, plus often the antibiotics needed around surgery, can be like dropping a bomb on that garden. It wipes out good bacteria along with any bad ones.
Okay.
And when that happens, or when you have an open wound like with VCD, it creates an opportunity for the less helpful or downright harmful microbes to take over. This imbalance is linked to so many vaginal health issues.
It really sounds like everything is tied together. The emotional side, the sources mention anxiety, frustration. That must be huge.
It really is. Dealing with the surgical complication, the uncertainty, maybe pain, a longer recovery, it can absolutely lead to anxiety, frustration, even depression. It's a significant psychological burden that needs acknowledging.
Definitely. Okay, so given all these potential impacts, the delayed healing, infection risk, inflammation, pain, microbiome issues, emotional stress, it seems crystal clear why focusing on vaginal health after VCD is so vital.
Absolutely crucial. Firstly, good vaginal health directly supports the healing itself. Healthy, non-inflamed tissues are just better equipped to close up properly.
Makes sense. You need a good foundation for repair.
Exactly. And secondly, that balanced microbiome we talked about, it acts like a natural defense force, protecting against infections during that vulnerable healing phase.
Okay, so it helps healing and prevents further problems.
Right. Plus, managing symptoms, it's the pain, maybe dryness, the inflammation that makes the whole recovery process more comfortable, more bearable. And thinking longer term, prioritizing vaginal health builds resilience. Healthier tissues mean a better chance of full recovery and fewer issues down the road.
Okay, how can someone actively support their vaginal health during VCD recovery? What strategies do our sources suggest?
Number one, without a doubt, is follow your medical team's advice to the letter.
Right. Non-negotiable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Rest, activity limits, specific wound care instructions, sticking to that is paramount to minimize risks. Listen to your doctors, listen to your body.
Okay. Beyond the doctor's orders, what else?
Gentle hygiene is key. The sources recommend just cleansing the external area, the vulva, with mild pH-balanced, fragrance-free cleansers. And definitely avoid douching.
Why no douching?
Douching disrupts that microbiome we keep talking about, washes away the good bacteria, and can irritate tissues that are already trying hard to heal. Less is definitely more here. Gentle external cleansing only.
Got it. Simple and gentle. What about things like diet and hydration? Do they play a role?
They really do. Staying well hydrated helps with natural lubrication and overall tissue health. And nutrition is huge for repair.
Like what specifically?
The sources mention getting enough vitamin C, vitamin E, zinc, and protein. These are all building blocks the body needs to repair tissues effectively. So focusing on a nutrient-rich diet really supports healing from the inside.
And anything specific for managing that inflammation aspect?
Yeah, incorporating anti-inflammatory foods could help. Things like turmeric, leafy greens, fatty fish rich in omega-3s. They can help calm down systemic inflammation, which might support healing at the cuff site, too.
So it's a whole body approach, really. What about things to avoid during recovery?
Generally, steer clear of potential irritants. Harsh soaps, products with strong fragrances, tight clothing that doesn't breathe well. Basically, anything that might irritate the sensitive area while it's healing, comfort is important.
Okay, and this brings us to probiotics, right?
Yeah.
The sources seem to flag these as potentially helpful.
Exactly. Vaginal probiotics come up as a potentially really useful tool. These are specifically designed to support vaginal health. The idea is they can help restore that microbial balance, maybe reduce local inflammation, and protect against infections, a valuable part of the recovery toolkit.
Let's dig into that a bit more. How exactly do probiotics help in this situation?
Well, their main job, as we've said, is helping rebalance that vaginal microbiome. They introduce beneficial bacteria like lactobacilli, which might have been knocked out by surgery or antibiotics or the VCD itself.
So they repopulate the good guys?
Pretty much, yeah. They help restore the vagina's natural protective environment.
And how does that help prevent infections?
Well, a healthy population of good bacteria makes it harder for the bad microbes to take hold. They compete for space and resources, and some even produce substances that inhibit the harmful ones. So it reduces the risk of BV, yeast infections, maybe even UTIs.
Okay, so infection prevention is a big one. Any other benefits? You mentioned inflammation.
Yes, some research suggests certain probiotic strains can help modulate the immune response locally. This could help dial down that chronic inflammation that can sometimes hinder healing after VCD.
Interesting. And potentially enhance the actual healing process, too.
That's the idea. By creating a healthier overall environment in the vagina-balanced microbes, less inflammation probiotics can support the tissue's natural ability to repair and become resilient again.
This sounds really promising. Now, our sources specifically mention a product called Balance Complex. Tell us about that.
Right, Balance Complex is presented as a comprehensive vaginal probiotic. It's formulated, apparently, with women recovering from things like VCD in mind. It's positioned as this blend of specific probiotic strains plus other natural ingredients designed to work together.
To do what specifically?
To restore that microbial balance, help reduce inflammation, and promote tissue healing.
Okay. And it sounds like it's not exactly new to the market.
No, the info we have calls it the original vaginal probiotic, says it's been around over 10 years, sold over 15 million capsules. So it has some history.
And interestingly, it notes it's the only one for women with 100 billion CFU per gram of probiotics.
Yeah.
That also includes cranberry and D-mannose.
Oh, for urinary tract health as well.
Exactly. That combo targets both vaginal and urinary health, which is pretty relevant since UTIs can be a risk too.
That dual action is definitely worth noting. Anything else that makes it stand out in the sources?
It apparently has a lot of positive feedback. Over 17,800 five-star reviews on Amazon are mentioned. It's described as a maximum strength 17-in-1 strain blend targeting odor, itching, discharge. Plus, it's non-GMO, made in FDA-registered GMP-certified facilities, standard quality mark. A 100% money-back satisfaction guarantee covered by Amazon's policy. Gives people some confidence to try it, I suppose.
Okay, so it sounds well-established, well-reviewed, with a focus on quality. Let's get into those ingredients. What's actually in it? The core is that vaginal probiotic blend, 100 billion CFU. It lists specific strains. Lactobacillus acidophilus, known for pH balance. L. rhamnosus, linked to immune support. maybe tissue repair. L-reiteri for microbial stability, anti-inflammatory potential.
Oh, okay.
Then L-plantarum, antioxidant benefits, tissue support, and Bacillus coagulans for long-term microbiome stability. So quite a mix aimed at different aspects of vaginal health.
That's a pretty diverse lineup of probiotics.
Yeah.
What else is in there? You mentioned cranberry and demonose.
Right, 300 milligrams of that blend. They're known for helping prevent bacteria, particularly E. coli, which causes most UTIs, from sticking to the walls of the urinary tract and potentially the vagina, too.
Like making the surfaces slippery for bad bacteria.
Kinda, yeah. Then there's oregano leaf extract, 250 milligram, known for natural antimicrobial properties, trying to target bad microbes while sparing the good ones.
Okay, what else? The list seems long.
It is quite comprehensive. Caprylic acid, 400 milligrams, often used to help control yeast overgrowth. Then protease, 50 milligram, and cellulase, 32 milligram. These are enzymes that can help break down biofilms.
Biofilms.
Yeah, they're like these slimy shields that bacteria can build to protect themselves. Breaking those down makes them more vulnerable. Aloe vera leaf, 50 milligram, is in there very well known for soothing anti-inflammatory healing properties. Arabinogalactin, 50 milligram, acts as a prebiotic, feeding the good bacteria and also boosts immunity. Anise seed, 50 milligram, has antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory effects. Black walnut hulls, 50 milligram, traditional use for antifungal, antibacterial action.
Oh, still going.
Almost there. Wormwood, 50 milligram, mentioned for immune support and tissue health. And finally, reishi mushroom, 25 milligram, known for helping reduce chronic inflammation and supporting immunity.
Okay, that is a lot of ingredients. It really sounds like they tried to cover multiple bases. So tying it all together, why would this formulation be particularly suited for VCD recovery, according to the sources?
Well, based on those ingredients, it targets the main issues. The probiotics aim straight at restoring that crucial microbial balance. Ingredients like aloe and reishi are there specifically to help reduce inflammation and soothe irritated tissues.
Yeah.
The cranberry, demonose, oregano, they offer multiple ways to help prevent the infections that are a higher risk after VCD. And the overall combination aims to enhance the resilience and integrity of the vaginal tissues themselves, supporting that healing process. It's trying to be a multi-pronged support system.
Right, tackling it from different angles. Now, separate from the supplement, the sources also brought up a website, vaginalquiz.com. What's the story there?
Yeah, vaginalquiz.com is presented as this resource for women who feel like something's just off with their vaginal health, maybe due to hormones, diet, stress, products they're using.
So more general than just VCD.
Oh, yeah, much broader. It's framed as a way to understand your body better when you're experiencing recurring issues, maybe dryness, low libido, general discomfort. It emphasizes that these things are common, you're not alone.
And what does it actually do?
It's described as a quick quiz under 2 minutes based on science that gives you a personalized analysis of your vaginal health. It aims to help you figure out potential imbalances causing your symptoms.
And it's private. Free.
Fast, free, and private, yes. That's highlighted. For women looking for real answers, basically.
Okay, so you take the quiz, then what?
After you finish, you apparently get a custom breakdown of your vaginal health profile. It points out potential imbalances and gives you expert-backed suggestions tailored to you.
Suggestions like?
Could be lifestyle tweaks, daily habits, maybe even suggesting certain types of supplements might be a match for your profile. It's trying to give personalized guidance.
So it's kind of like a starting point, a way to get some personalized insight without immediately needing an appointment.
Exactly. It's positioned as a sort of cheat sheet for intimate health, a way to understand your body better, maybe identify patterns, and get some targeted ideas to discuss further or try out.
Sounds like a potentially useful tool for women navigating any kind of vaginal health uncertainty.
The source definitely encourages checking it out if you're curious or experiencing issues. Vaginalquiz.com.
Well, this has been a really thorough deep dive. We've covered VCD, its significant impact on vaginal health, and importantly, strategies for support from medical care to lifestyle, and potentially probiotics like Balance Complex.
It's clear that managing vaginal health proactively after VCD is incredibly important, and there are concrete steps women can take.
Absolutely. And that point about understanding your body, like the quiz, it really feels like that's the crucial first step towards recovery and just overall well-being, doesn't it?
It really does. Knowledge empowers action.
Makes you wonder, what other signals might our bodies be sending that we tend to overlook? And how much more control or understanding could we gain just by paying a little closer attention? Something to think about. Thanks so much for unpacking all this today.
My pleasure. It's important information to share.